Lucas.
How is everybody doing out there? Everyone out there in the world, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, all the places. How's it going?
Yeah. Yeah. Happy Thursday.
Oh my gosh. It's I I probably say this every week. Can you believe it's already Thursday? It's like
It's Thursday.
it's insane.
I feel like Mondays can sometimes be a really long day.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's Thursday.
Yes, we say that being excited about Mondays. You and I like look forward to Mondays, right? But they still feel like long days.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, they
I
do.
think I think I went to an event last week and someone said I saw you, but by the time I got around to talk to you, you were gone. And I said, oh, I had a 16-hour day. So by the time I got to 8 o'clock at night and I was still on my feet, I was like, 8 o'clock, I'm a pumpkin.
Wow.
I'm on my way home. And 8 o'clock is so late for me to be out, which is
Yes.
wherever I am, I'm always a half an hour from home. So
That
yeah,
is amazing about that area, the Nashville metro area, is that you could pretty much do anything in 30 minutes.
yeah,
So here
yes,
in Hampton Roads, it's a little different. The layout is, it's 7 cities. It's a peninsula. You've got bridges and tunnels and all the things. And
so you
yeah,
never know how long it's going to take.
you never know. It's kind of like when you have to go from like New Jersey to Manhattan, and you're like, it's not that far.
It's not that far. When I lived in New Jersey or in New York, I never lived in New Jersey. Well, I did. I was a nanny in New Jersey. That was 100 years ago. But when I lived in the city, you could non-rush hour was completely different from rush hour.
Absolutely.
You get from the Upper West Side to the the trade towers back in the day in 15 minutes on an
Wow.
express, but on a local 30 to 40 minutes. And then
Yeah.
if there was, a little thing like, I don't know, a bombing,
Right.
right? I walked home the first attempt on the towers. I lived in the city.
Oh, really?
I ended up walking home from Wall Street to Midtown.
Oh, you were at Wall Street? You were right there.
I was right there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I went to get on the train and they said the trains are down and they will be down indefinitely.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Yeah. Yeah. Not 9/11, but the time
Yeah.
before, the time that where they
Yep.
put the van in the garage. Yeah. I was
Yeah, I was
there.
about to say that was in the parking garage. And that wasn't too far from I mean, they had a lot of people don't know that there was a subway stop at the base of
Yes.
the World Trade Center.
I worked there. I worked in Tower 1, Tower 2, Tower 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty
Back
wild
in the
stuff.
day. Back in the
So
day.
I brought Tammy up there. It's probably 2 years ago now. There was we went and caught a Giants game, spent the weekend in the city, saw some family, the kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And we had to leave the stadium. Hey, Elizabeth, nice to see you.
Elizabeth.
There we go. She's on YouTube, living it up.
Hi, Wayne.
There's Wayne. Good. Oh,
Oh,
you're in DC.
see this time you're close.
So last week, Wayne and I jumped on a phone call immediately after we got off the live.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, and he filled me in on all his travel plans and all the
That's awesome.
crazy stuff going on and
That's
all the
awesome.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we go up to New York and we catch a Giants game and hey, there's Tony.
Hi, Tony.
Hey, good. Well, Tony, this one's this episode will be interesting for you.
Yes.
And yeah, so we go to leave MetLife, which is in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and we've got to cross Manhattan, pick our stuff up in Midtown, and then head across to
The city.
yeah. So we had to get over to. I mean, we flew out of LaGuardia. So I'm like watching my clock like nervously,
Yeah.
and Tammy's like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yeah, but we've got to get moving." Because we only have a few hours to get to LaGuardia. And I could see the look on her face, like, what do you mean? Like a few hours? And I'm like, it's gonna take forever.
Yeah. As the crow flies, it's nothing is really far, right? Even the
Right.
Hamptons are
Right.
150 miles.
Yeah. It's just
So
like,
it's 3 hours, but it's 3.5 hours on the jitney, and it could be 7 hours if you're stuck in Hampton's traffic from the city.
right. And all I kept thinking was, we've got 80,000 people here trying to get out of East Rutherford at the same time.
Yeah.
We called an Uber. Good luck. Like it's like 40-minute, 50-minute, 60-minute wait. I'm like, okay. I look at the train platform and you literally couldn't fit another person on the platform outside the train. I said, I don't know how else we're going to. It was pretty wild.
But you made
Pretty
it.
wild. When we made it, and fun New York story. I get to the hotel. I walk in the lobby. The same bellhop who's been there all weekend's like, Mr. Marino, how was the game? Like he just, he knows.
Oh.
I'm like, dude, it was great. Can you help me? He's like, what's up? I'm like, can't get an Uber. Need a ride to LaGuardia. He's like, I'll be right back. And he like runs out of the front door with a whistle, and he's like screaming at cabbies.
Yeah.
And Tammy's like, this is awesome. I'm like, we're gonna get to LaGuardia on time. Don't worry. Yeah. So, anyways, we got there. We got through security. We got to the gate with like 10 minutes to spare. So it was a good time.
My attitude about travel has completely transformed. I used to go to the airport at the last possible minute.
All the stress and the fun.
Walk right onto you go right through security, right onto the airplane. And now I plan for there to be a delay.
Yes.
I don't plan anything else on that day. I have snacks, comfortable shoes, a pashmina in case I'm cold.
What's that?
Pashmina?
Yeah.
A scarf, a cashmere scarf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tammy would know. You can ask Tammy.
I was about to say it sounds pretty classy.
Sounds girly. Sounds girly. Okay.
I do not own one of those.
Yeah, I have chargers for my phone. I have my computer. I have my Kindle, my iPad, my phone. I mean, I think I spent 2 days at O'Hare when I went to speak at Cop Camp. The joke was, I spent two days at O'Hare. Like I spoke for an hour and it took me 3 days. It took 3 days because I was there for 1 day and there were 2 travel days and I got stuck at O'Hare both times for like 5 or 6 hours.
Oh my god!
But I got a lot of stuff done. I prepared for it. Like I can work anywhere. So rather than getting upset, I mean, watching irate travelers is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
At any minute, I'm like, it's like a cartoon. Their head's gonna explode.
I got stuck in Atlanta one time. This was years ago when I was a port engineer traveling for the government, and I get my connector in Atlanta. As soon as we get to the gate, the lady's like, "Plane's not leaving tonight, guys," and we're like, "Oh," and it's like I know it's the last flight out. Like,
Right.
I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, "There's nothing else, is there?" She's like, "No."
No.
So the lady next to me just loses it. "You have to get me home." And the guy's like, "There's no other plane leaving Atlanta tonight for Hampton Roads, for
I
Norfolk."
always wonder what they're thinking. Did you want me to drive you?
She's like,
Right? Did you want me to call Mark Cuban and get his private jet? Like, how do you see it going down? What's happening?
She just insisted. She's like, "No, you have to fix this. You have to get me home. You have to get me on a plane. You have to." And the lady at the desk is just smiling at her. And I'm like, "Before you address that question, what time am I leaving in the morning?" The lady's like, "Mr. Marino, we got you on this flight." I'm like, "Thank you." I look at the other lady, "Have a good night." Because you're going to sit here and argue for an hour, get nothing, sleep in the airport. I'm going to my hotel room, right? Like all those major airports have nice hotels right there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to crash for 5-6 hours and be back here in a couple hours and get my plane and go home. Like there's not, like you said, they're not going to drive you home.
And it's not their fault. They're not the pilot. They're not the maintenance person. Anyway, we could talk about travel all day, but we probably should talk about what we're reading.
Yeah, let's do that. This is going to sound like such a weird thing to say. I've been reading a lot of my own book. You know where I'm at.
I know where you are.
Right where I'm at. I'm in I'm in the middle of my read aloud.
Okay.
So I'm sitting at my desk reading out loud every word of my book. And then between doing that, I'm reading scripts for clients and we're editing scripts. And then outside of all that, I'm reading 3 fiction novels right now. And it's been a real interesting attempt. I think I didn't do myself any favors by doing that. So 2 of them are going on pause. I got to finish this one today, and then
Are they
off we go.
all the same genre? Are they all the same type of story?
No, they're not the same type of story. So, but one of them is a shorter. Now it's a short novella. So I want to wrap that one up today, and I'm talking with the author this afternoon. So I wanted to make sure I had his book finished before we meet.
Okay.
But that is actually a book that's not like my typical read. So I'm enjoying experiencing something different. But I'm not like for those that know, I do read and write in like gothic horror. But I'm not a body horror, like extreme horror kind of guy whatsoever. Don't really buy them, read them, write them, any of that.
Yeah.
And this one's kind of on the verge.
Oh.
So I'm kind of smiling and laughing as I'm reading some of it just because it's so over the top.
All right.
So I'm also
reader
reading
for every genre.
Yes. And I'm also reading a nonfiction book from somebody that's sitting on the call right now, but that book will go unnamed for the moment.
For the moment. Yeah.
For the moment. How about you?
I have just finished the first book in 3 in a series so far. The Finley Donovan series, Not Scary. It's a fun. It's a mystery. Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's just a fun. The author is just, I'm a huge fan. Elle Cosimano is her name. And it's just a fun. The first book is Finley Donovan is killing it. And the character, Finley Donovan, is a writer. And she's a single mom. She's a hot mess. And she goes to Panera to meet her agent. And her agent's like, we need that draft. We're about to cancel your contract. And so they were like, how hard is it to kill somebody and make it clean and right in the book. And a woman overhears her and thinks she's a contract killer for hire.
Oh.
And so she says, writes on a piece of paper, $50,000, the name of my husband, go kill him and I'll pay you $50,000. And she's like, no, wait. And then, of course, ends up going and checking the guy out. He dies.
Oh, wow.
But it's a comedy. It's like a mystery comedy.
Right? That actually sounds really fun.
It's kind of a screwball, like, wait a minute, the guy's dead. What do I do with his body? Do I confess to my sister who's a cop? Right?
I really like that.
How am I going to get out of it? And also the writing is very humorous. And as I mentioned, it's very fun. And so that's the type of fiction that I want to write. And so I really enjoyed that series. So now I'm reading book 2 again, just to kind of get into, where are the little drops that are being done and all that sort of thing. And then, of course, I'm reading my next book ad nauseum. To make sure that it is ready to go and working on the marketing plan for it. Comes out the end of October.
Right. Is it, do you have a date in October yet? Or are we
23.
That's what I thought. Okay.
10/23. Yep. And I just told my husband this morning that I want to have a party. Because I don't normally have a party for my books, right? It's like every 10 minutes, it's like, oh, look, another book. But this one I want to have a party for. So I'm going to look into location. And of course, there has to be a cake. And I'm really just doing it for the cake.
I was about to say, I'm fairly convinced at this point it's about the cake.
Yeah, it's pretty much about the cake.
I can see Byron right now. He's like, you're not doing this just to get a cake, right? We can just go buy a cake.
Can we just go buy a cake? Do we have to have a party? Like, what are we doing? But he was like, October is really nice. Like, where do we have it? Should we have it here? Like, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I'll start working on that.
Well, you're welcome to have it at our house.
Oh, all right. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony gets it. It's about the cake, really.
Yeah. It's about the cake.
Yeah. The last cake was amazing. For Write Your Nonfiction Book, it was just this amazing cake.
It was. That was really good.
Yeah.
Guys, can you see the cake emoji?
Now I want cake.
Is that a strawberry on top of that cake?
It could be.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. So all of this is, I mean, October's interesting timing because in December we have a little kickoff going on, right? Yes. So is that your last book launch before EBM kicks off for the year?
Yes. Maybe. Right. Maybe because I'm doing a companion that's not an official companion.
Gotcha.
Should we just talk about it?
Sure.
I can just talk about it.
Let's
Yeah,
do
because
it.
I have about 60 people on my art now on the advanced reader team, so I can talk about it. So the book is There's No Such Thing as Writer's Block.
Love it.
And I've had a little tiny group of advanced readers. They seem to like it. You're included. And it's for all writers. So I haven't really done anything in the past that's for every single writer. And obviously there is writer's block, but I believe that if you have writer's block, there's probably an underlying reason or a way to circumvent it so that you can just get the words coming. So there's no such thing as writer's block. It's coming October 23rd.
I love it. And if you guys have read any of her books, which I hope you have, and if you haven't, I've got a couple I could recommend. This one is probably your most universal that I've read. It's, applicable to the broadest audience of writers. And I love the way you approach this topic. Your voice, your tone, your thought process is just amazing in this book.
I had a ball. I had a ball writing it. When my timer would go off and I'd have to stop and I had something I had to do, I was like, no, but it was just such a ball to write. But what I'm working on that's the companion, not a companion, is just the I Am a Writer notebook. So I wanted a gift to give someone that is an aspiring writer, or a gift to someone who you know and love as a writer. Mm. So their notebook that they carry around and write down their ideas and their poems or their screenplay ideas or their character Bibles or their outlines, but also their goals and their visions and all the things. I'm having a really fun time putting that all together.
See, I haven't seen that. I can't wait to see that.
No, you haven't seen it.
Is that launching the same day?
I haven't even seen it.
Are you launching that the same day?
Yeah, I would like to, but because it's not a true companion, I've thought about waiting just a couple of weeks and not with fanfare, but just making it available.
Sure.
Because I think it would be a great holiday gift for writers. So it's mentioned in the Writer's Block book, but it's not an official companion.
Awesome. Yeah. There it goes. I was having some problems with the chat for a second there, so.
Oh.
There we go. Now it's refreshed.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony.
Tony, it's really good. You're going to really enjoy this book, man.
Yeah. I'll put in our chat, because I don't have access to the chat. I'll put the link for the advanced reader team so you can include that.
Oh yeah. So for anyone that's watching that's not familiar, when you have a book getting ready to launch, grab that copy of that link address.
Press that. Make sure it's.
You want to test it real quick?
Test it.
Hopefully let's see what's going on here. Let me make sure it works. Yeah, so an advanced reader team gets a copy of the book before it's released, and you get to enjoy this marvel before its official public launch. Yep, it works.
Okay.
All right, so I will put that in the chat. Guys, there is a link now in the chat on YouTube and Facebook. LinkedIn folks, I'll have to come back after the session and drop it in there, because LinkedIn doesn't let you communicate back and forth with the streaming platforms.
Rude.
I know. But if you're curious, it's honoreequarter.com/no writer's block. You could put that in your browser and rock and roll.
Yeah. So
excellent. That's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that one, because when I first read the title, I was like, oh, this is good. This one could be contentious. But then I read the book and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Like, because it basically addresses the point of, if you do have it, how do you think about it, address it, and work with it to eliminate it? And if you don't have it, this is how you can become aware of it. Excellent.
What is ABT? Always very terrific.
That's better than I would have come up with in a short period.
All right. Well,
my brain is stuck on like military acronyms.
Right.
All right. I have. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. I'm glad to hear that. Advanced Readers Team.
Oh,
ART.
Okay. ART. Okay. All right. Got it. Okay. I saw the V and I was confused. I'm like, what's happening right now? What are we doing?
And always very terrific.
Yes.
Also that.
So I'll have those books for the incoming class of the Empire Builders Mastermind class of 24.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that, you know, the 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 mastermind kicking off in December is something that at first, when I first joined, this will be my third year I'm going into. So this is,
Yeah.
gosh, it doesn't feel like that at all. It feels like it was yesterday. But when I
That's
first,
good. I was hoping you weren't going to say, boy, it feels like 10 years already.
no, it doesn't feel that long at all. Now, I just remember the first time you had talked to me. Well, one, let me back up. I didn't think I was a good fit for the program. I didn't think I was actually a good candidate. I thought it was going to be
That's
for people that,
crazy.
well, I didn't know if I was mature enough in my business at that point.
Understood.
Right.
But now looking back, crazy, right?
Yeah, because, all right. So if you guys are watching this and you're hearing your names, don't laugh too hard. But I'm like reading like about the people that were in the year before. It's like Karen and Chris Bystransky and like all these people. I'm like, wow, this Bystransky's guy sounds amazing. And he is. Chris is amazing,
Yeah,
right?
it's amazing. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm not ready. Like I'm not there yet. But then we talked and you kind of opened my eyes to the opportunities with mentorship and networking and
Yep.
education. And as soon as I heard all of that from you, and I wasn't just reading it on a landing page on a website, it started to take on different form. And I understood the opportunity that I had in front of me, that if I let that go, it could actually hurt my business, right? Because
Interesting.
you can stay on the same path and do fine. But just think about how much more powerful it is to have that network around you, those people to talk with, all the things you're going to learn, having a fantastic mentor to guide you. It was business changing for me.
Yeah. Well, and here we are.
And here we are. So you kick off in December and it's a year-long mastermind.
Yep. We kick off with basically 2 days, right? So we have dinner the first night. Everybody gets to know each other. I knew I was in trouble for the class of 23 because right out of the gate, you all were like a runaway train. Normally, the first meeting, everyone's like,
Very
prim
quiet.
and proper, please and thank you, and all the stuff like the saucy. And the teasing comes later, but there were a lot of year 2 people that came back. And so they made the new people feel welcome. And the new people were, fun and playful right out of the gate. So that was really fun. And then we have an all-day working session in December. It's our working meeting.
Yep.
So we're getting ready for the following year, which is why we kick off in December instead of January, so that we cross the first of the year at a run, which is what I learned from my running days. And in case anyone hasn't seen my Instagram post for today for Empire Builder USA, I posted a picture of me when I was running the Virginia 10 miler the day before my 9th birthday.
You posted it?
I did.
Yes.
So that picture is on there, but I learned when I was running, my dad was my trainer and he would always say, like, you start in the front. He's like, you go right up there with the elite runners. You look over at Bill Rogers and Greta Weitz and you look at them and he's like, you're running with them. And I was this little kid, right? So I was 8 or 9, just like, okay, I'll do it. But he said, if for some reason you get put in the back, you want to cross the start at a run. So when your time starts, you're not stopping from a start, you're stopping from a run. And so I want to start my year always from a run. I want to already do my planning ahead of time so that I start with momentum, even though I will have been resting.
Right.
Because the holiday time for me is downtime, is quiet time. I always want to start at a run. So there's the saying, some people make it happen, some people watch it happen, and some people look around and go, what happened? Right? And I feel like if you start your year without a plan, without goals, without intentions, then you're kind of looking around going, oh, what happened? Oh, the clock's already ticking. What happened? So I like to get everybody in, get them acquainted with each other. So we work all day, then we have a fun dinner again. So we've had 2 dinners. Those are fully hosted. The day's fully hosted. We go great places. You can attest.
Yes.
And then we have a last half day just to finish anything we didn't finish the day before, just to cement some of the relationships. And then right after lunch, everybody scatters to the four corners of the earth. And then we meet, right? Yes. Yes. And then
world domination. That's how it starts.
World domination. We reset the button on world domination. And then we have our 10 virtual meetings during the year, January through November, with August is quiet. So we haven't had our September meeting, and it will have been 2 months since we've officially gotten together. Although I have talked to everyone. I've talked to almost everyone. I've communicated with everyone, and I've talked to almost everyone in the interim, because you can't quit me and I can't quit you. So
what happens?
So I talked to everybody. And then we finish in November. Our last meeting of the year, virtual, is in November. But there's all kinds of other things. I have a question for you. I know you have questions for me, but my question for you is, why year 3? Other than you have to. Other than it's kind of mandatory at this point. But all kidding aside.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those things where I honestly, so I've had some experiences before EBM, with group coaching, with one-on-one coaching, with masterminds, hosting them, being in them, all the things. And I never really stepped into a group at the level of EBM until I met you and had an opportunity. So I had some context about how great EBM is based off of what I had experienced beforehand. And I know that you don't just find what's here. You do such a great job of interviewing everyone and making sure they're a good fit for the group, and not just worried about taking, someone's fee to enter a group, and in you come. I mean, it's a restricted group. It's not like you can have 50 people walk in off the street. So I knew year 1, having gone through the process of talking with you and interviewing and all the things, that there was something special about this program. And the magic of the program is the people that you have put together every year. So I have a tremendous amount of respect and confidence for your process. And I know that I'm better being around that group than I am without it, first of all.
Same.
Yeah, absolutely. So my business life, my personal life, my writer's life, everything is better being in this group than it is without this group. And when I left the military, I left a pretty great environment of camaraderie.
Yeah.
And you had this network laid at your feet, and it was yours for the taking if you could recognize it was there.
Yes.
And I didn't find that again until I was in EBM, like a group of people that really felt like they were connected and able to work together on any level. Any of those people can call me and the phone gets picked up, and it's phenomenal. So for me, it wasn't like, should I go to year 3? It was like, when can I start talking about being in in year 3, right? Because the other part is, as you're never done developing.
No.
And you have to choose, in my opinion, if you're going to choose to be in business, or you're going to choose to be a professional as an entrepreneur, you're going to choose to be a professional writer, you have to choose what you're going to invest your time in for professional development every year you choose to be in that profession.
Right.
And this is where I choose to spend my time and my energy, is with these people. So
I like that. Thank you. Thank
that
you for
was
the perspective.
Yeah, that was my perspective going into year 3. I'm like, I'm not ready to stop doing these things with these people. This is great. Every year it changes too.
Right. So every year we have people who stay, and every year we have people who in their minds, lives, businesses, whatever, graduate. And then we have new people that come. And so I'm super excited about some of the new people that are coming in for next year, because one of them is an old friend of mine. So we did a book together.
Really?
Yeah, you know about her. I've told you about her.
Okay.
Yeah.
My mind is swimming.
Yes, college.
Oh, right. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
So I knew her 20 years ago. I use Voxer, the app, and so I had opened it to Vox someone else, and it said her name was on Voxer. And so I just sent her a message, and I was like, "Hey, I've always just thought you were such a cool person. It says you're voxing. I hope you see this. I hope we connect soon." We had a conversation. She said, "It's crazy that we're having this conversation because I'm working on my next book.
Oh,
What do you have?" And I said, "I have these suite of courses and I have this mastermind." And she was like, "I'm in, sign me up."
excellent.
It was just an amazing thing. So she's in. Brianna is coming back and bringing Phil. So that's really fun.
Brianna.
Stacy's coming back and bringing her daughter.
Oh,
So normally someone who's in their early 20s would not be a great fit for EBM, but I think we're about to be schooled in life
yeah.
by Stacy's daughter.
Great.
So we have a lot of great people coming back, and we have a lot of new people. Still a couple of spots left. So
Excellent.
still have some interviews, have a conversation today, have a conversation tomorrow. And it's early. It's August. I mean,
Right.
normally I'm still having conversations in late October, early November. I think that time has passed. This is what year is it? This is year 5. Next year's year 6.
Is it? I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was a
Yeah,
year.
because Karen is in her 4th year in 24, and she's been in all years except for the first one.
Karen Hunsinger.
Uh-huh.
For those that are watching and have heard us brag about our.
No. Next year is her 5th year. This is her 4th year. She's in her 4th year this year.
No.
Yes.
Really?
This is her senior year, remember?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, this is her senior year. So now she's going to the graduate program.
Entertaining.
Yeah. So she says this is next year is her last year. 5. She's 5 and out.
Well, I look at Karen's experience, and
wow, what a journey, right?
yeah, and I think about all the great things she's done, and I think, man, if I didn't join this group, I never would have met Karen Hunsinger.
Right.
Kent Sanders, I love him. So if you're a writer and you want to walk into a room with people, by the way, with people you don't normally interact with, probably in your writer's niche, right?
At all levels of the process,
Yep.
right? So have not written a word.
Right.
Have not written a word, and then there's Renee. Renee's my bestie. So she came she was my assistant last year for the summer meeting. Hi.
Is she here?
Yeah, Ion Energy.
My chat is not doing things.
Your chat's not doing things. Well, I can see her.
I'm going to close my chat and see if I can reopen it. Hi, Renee.
Yeah. Yeah, so people who are at all stages of the journey. So they have not written anything. They've written something before. They are in the process of writing something.
Or they're not writers.
Or they're not writers, but they want to put a book out there and monetize a book.
Because when I came into the program, I didn't have a book. Right?
Yet.
But
by the end of this year, how many books will you have?
Just this year?
Yeah. By the end of this year, how many books total will you have? They will have all been done this year, right?
Yes, between 4 and 5.
Yeah. And did you do a workbook for Monetize Your Book with a Course?
There'll be 2 workbooks this year in addition to that count I just gave you.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2 workbooks and 4 or 5 books, depending on when the last one publishes in my fiction
in year
series.
3, in year 2 of EBM for you.
Year 2.
And then next year, you'll probably get into double digits.
Well, and in my first year, I started. It took that first year to really plan and write and do all the things. So even though my book launched in year 2, it was in February. All the work had pretty much been done.
Right. In year 1.
I mean, that book was written in year 1 and just needed to be processed, basically. And that is a light term to use for what happens.
That's right. We just processed it like hot dogs.
Right. Just like hot dogs.
Sausages.
The world's best sausages, right?
Best sausages.
But I came in, I was a coach and a consultant that wanted to write a book. And I told Brianna, Brianna's like, I don't know if it'll be the right fit because I'm not necessarily looking to write a book yet or like this year. And I said, oh, if you're a coach, like this program's fantastic for coaches because, well, Honoree was a phenomenal coach and there's other coaches in the room, Stacy, me. I mean, there's Amber. Amber's an amazing coach. Like there's
Amber's an amazing coach.
tons of great coaches in the room. So it's just
I
a
think
really
her
good
book
group.
is live too. Let's give her a shout out. Let me see if it's live.
No, really?
Yeah. She was messaging me. Let me see if it went live last night.
Okay. Thank God you can see what's going on with the chat because I just saw Renee's comment hit the screen. I didn't put it there. Did you?
No, I can't do anything with the chat.
That's great. So guys, bear with me on the chat thing because something's going on with the with Restream.
All right, I'm sending her a text that we're on the live.
Renee, I honestly am not trying to just pin your comment about being late to the feed. That is a totally not me.
All right, let me go to Amazon on another browser and see if I can find Amber's book because then I can give you. I know she was waiting for it to go live, but she has a naughty word in her title.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
And so I'm wondering if they kicked it back. Although, goodness, it's not the naughtiest word that we've ever heard.
Right.
But she had a post. Let's see. I'm not finding it yet.
Is it still titled "Break Your BS Box"?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I don't see it yet. I just texted her. Maybe she'll let me know.
Okay.
What's happening?
And she pronounces her last name Furman, right?
I think it's Ferryman.
Ferryman. Okay.
Okay.
So,
I don't know. I should know. I should know.
Hey,
I don't know that I've ever heard her say it, to be honest.
I've never heard her say it. Yeah.
Because it's just Amber. She is an attorney and a criminal and immigration attorney in Las Vegas, and also a coach and an NLP practitioner and coach. And she works very closely with Stacy. Stacy's working on her book. Amber's dad passed away, I think 5 years ago. And so this was the anniversary. Yesterday was the anniversary of him passing. And so she was really working hard to get the book published by yesterday. And so she messaged me at 9:29 p.m. and said, I'm very impatient. But I, as luck would have it, was already sleeping.
Ah, excellent.
Because that 4 o'clock hour comes very early.
It does. And I still can't believe that's what time you start your day.
Like a bunny.
You are, and consistently.
I know.
It's not like 4 days a week. It's like you make a run, it's like that's what you do.
Yeah. I sleep on Sundays till about 6.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just looking up.
I'm not seeing it on the.
I was looking for Amber, and I found the Pivot Point Advantage coaching page that Stacy.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
So I'll see if I can.
I don't see it yet.
All right. So for those that aren't aware, Stacy is a member of EBM, and she is the founder of Pivot Point Advantage, which is a phenomenal coaching program.
Yep. And she is, she's coming back, bringing her daughter. Amber's coming back.
Excellent.
Yep. Kent's coming back.
She's so good.
Yeah. So it'll be a really great year. She's getting her daughter ready to take over Pivot Point Advantage. Her daughter's 23, Lucas. And when I had a conversation with her, I was like, and super, super cute and respectful, showed up like with a jacket.
Nice.
Like professional attire.
Right.
On time. I was like, okay.
Wow.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Well, she's getting ready to have a heck of a year
Yeah, I
because
think I'm going to turn it over. I think I'm going to turn the group over to her daughter. Be like, you just let me know.
when you're done, we're good.
Let me know when you're all done. Yeah, just so much potential and possibility in there. So EBM is just a really special
It is.
group.
Well, and if you don't mind, I'll talk a little bit about do you mind if I talk about the structure a little bit?
Please.
All right.
Please.
So
From
one of the
your
things.
perspective, it's even better if it than it's from my perspective.
Oh, okay. Well, I love that you're it's like a mandatory participation program, first of all, because as someone investing my time, effort, funds,
Yes.
all the things that people think about when they walk into one of these programs, I want to know that it's a serious thing, and I want to know that other people in the group are serious about it. So it's not just like this traditional, or not traditional. It's not like this regular program. It's like, oh yeah, come and go as you please, and this and that. It's like,
Right.
hey, we're here to contribute.
To each
And
other, not
right,
just be contributed to.
that's right. The strength of a mastermind is in the group being
Shows
cohesive.
up. Yes.
And you could be an extrovert or an introvert and walk in that room and you're with other people just like you. And
Yes.
everybody knows how to work with you. So I feel like that was one of the really beneficial things to me. I don't know, you're probably going to laugh at this when I say this, but the first time we met, I was a little wound up. I had this like quiet, high energy. I'm sitting next to John Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like fired up, ready to go. But I'm like quiet. I like my legs going. I got my notebook. I'm like ready to rock, because when we meet in
I
December,
remember. Yeah.
and I was sitting right next to you and that was like a partial, like, I didn't even think about it at the time, but you were the only person I knew there.
Of course.
So when we went to sit down, I just like sat right next to you.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
this is my friend. Do I know any faces? Yeah.
I have
and it's
no
not
life.
A big group. It's not a big group. I think your first
Right.
year, the group was 12.
Yeah, I think it was about 12 people.
No, 15. I think we had 15 in 22 and we have 13 in 23. Yeah.
Right.
So you had 15 in the group, but that's a decent sized group. It's not too big. It's not too little.
Right.
But I don't like to walk into rooms where I don't know anybody. So I'll let you finish your thought, but I'm doing something this year that I haven't done in previous years to help with that. So go on.
Yeah. So I thought it was great to walk in that room and be with everyone, but my energy was so high with anticipation. I really just was excited about this because I understood the significance of the investment. As a person putting your energy and your brain to work. And the other part of it that I loved was that it was a significant and enough investment in all areas of my business, financial, time, energy, that I had to be serious about it. Like, dude, if I walk in this room for the next year, which by the way is 2 on-site visits, one in December and then one in June in the summer. And then all of the monthly virtual sessions, which are all mandatory. Like, what a waste it would be if I came into that annual cycle and walked out not giving my best or not doing what I could to help other people. And that just to me was like day one energy. So I was a little wound up, and I'm sitting next to John Hope, who's a colonel, which probably didn't help.
Army colonel, Ranger.
Yeah.
Purple Heart recipient, your basic loser, right?
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
No intimidation factor there. No, I mean, it's a group of really committed, intelligent, but also heart-centered people.
Yes.
The people who don't work in EBM, so this is for anyone who is wondering, am I the right person for the group? The people that don't work in EBM are the people that don't participate. When Lucas, when you say mandatory, it's on the application. Because the only way you're going to get where you want to go is to show up. And again, you are chosen to participate based on our conversations and whether I think you'll be a good energetic fit and a synergistic fit with the group. But also, are you the type of person that shows up to give and receive, or are you a taker? And the people that don't work in EBM are the ones that don't show up. Or when they do show up, they're just there to take something. They just want something for themselves. And they're missing the whole law of giving and receiving opportunity, which is the more you show up ready to give to others, the more you're going to be given to. And it's really going to be your group of people. And we all work in our alone. We all work in our heads solo. A lot of us on our computers. It's very lonely, and having a group of people who understand what you're doing, who understand what an entrepreneur is and what they're doing, what they're trying to achieve. There's nothing like finding your people and surrounding yourself with your people, and people who are challenging you to, yes, who are challenging you to be your best, to understand that life happens and that you're going to get knocked around a little bit. You're going to have delays, you're going to have denials, but that if you just keep showing up and you just keep going and you continue to improve in whatever way you need to improve. Do you need to learn more about business? Do you need to learn more about prospecting, finding prospects, finding people that are the right fit for your offerings, or, the sales conversation, scaling, if that's something that's interesting to you, learning more about all of those areas from someone, me, who is a mentor, who has been around a long time. Right. I have a lot of experience in a lot of areas. And my job, I think, is to help people to find the confidence and the courage to go for what it is that they want, but also the process, right? The
Right.
actual tactical, strategic and tactical planning and execution.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I love that we talked, we start the year with like, where do you want to be, this year? Like,
Yeah.
what do you want to achieve this year? And you're not just talking about it and thinking about it in your head. You have to like vocalize that and tell the group.
That's right.
And then you're going to get some feedback on those goals. And it's not just like, oh, you can just do anything you want. It's like, you want to do all that in the next 12 months, or
Right.
Or you can take that to the next level. You're not,
Right. You're not thinking big enough.
Right.
Yes. I want to write one book in 3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a possibility you could do it faster. You could do it easier. You could find, to borrow from Ben Hardy and Dan Sullivan, you can find a who, right? It's who, not how. And it's putting systems in place, and right. There's a lot that goes into it, and everyone comes in at a little bit different place, but everybody's kind of on the same, right? It's like you're on a team.
Yep.
Not everybody has the same position, but everybody's working together.
Right.
And so I love it. It's one of my favorite things.
Well, yeah, it's like, you, and if you're a coach and you walk in that room, you're basically around one, Honoree is a very accomplished coach. And you worked at various levels of coaching, by the way, which I thought was, as a coach, I thought that was really valuable, because you'd worked with everything from entrepreneurs and single business owners up to executive level coaching.
Fortune 500, Fortune 100 C-suite folks. Yeah.
Yeah. You've done the C-suite coaching, and you did all of it successfully and well. And so for me, as a person who was a coach, even if I set the author thing aside, I thought, wow, I'm in a room with these fantastic coaches. I've got this great mentor who's a coach. I have someone I can bounce ideas off of, like, even if they're crazy. Yep. I can talk about crazy here and it's okay. Like, we can do these things. But here's something I didn't expect that really pushed the value over the top for me, was the amount of collaboration that ended up happening that first year with other members of the group. Mm-hmm. Bridget's like, hey, you want to come on my podcast? I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. And then on my summit, I'm like asking people if they want to interview for this summit. They're like, yeah, let's do it. So like, immediately just had this really supportive group of professionals that, you could lean on, you could trust, you could interact with, you could collaborate with. I have an editor now because of that relationship. I have a proofreaders because of this relationship. I've got cover designers. I've got fiction book coaches. I've got like all the things I've had happen that are wonderful to me in the last 2 or 3 years for my career as an author and as a coach have come through EBM.
Yeah. A line of sight to almost everyone.
Yeah.
Almost everyone that you could possibly need, and constantly part of my job is to make sure that I help people to not have skin knees. Right. And broken bones, right. To help them to always be looking for the people on the team who are the specialists, who are the who, because I don't know how to do everything. As you've witnessed, ConvertKit is my nemesis.
You do better with that than you give yourself credit for.
There's a lot of not safe for work words that are used, my workout words.
Yeah, but you give yourself some credit. You have quite this, like the volume of things in ConvertKit.
I do. Yep. I have a lot of stuff in ConvertKit, and they have a
Yeah.
lot of functionalities that I don't quite understand all together all the time. But I also understand that there's a part of business is understanding how to do everything.
Right.
I have been my own assistant, right? I started as an assistant in the corporate world. So understanding what that job entails, understanding what customer service entails, understanding what sales entails, understanding networking and business development and relationship development and what that entails, the technical pieces of, how do you publish your book? What are the platforms? Like all the nuancy things. I have to understand all of those things from a very C-level perspective. And then I also have to understand it from 30,000 feet, from the global perspective, from the universal perspective, the solar system, as it were. And so I have a fun job.
You do.
Because there's not a day that goes by that I was thinking yesterday, I went from this type of a conversation to this type of a conversation to this type of a conversation to this type of a text chat. It's really fun and interesting. And also then saying, okay, you need this, go talk to this person, go talk to that person, go talk to that person. Here's your assignment. Here's your homework, right? Because I'm always a coach. So Go do your homework. Yeah. So it's the best. It's the best of everything I've ever done, all in one situation. And then, of course, this conversation, Lucas, the Empire Builders Masterclass is a collaboration that was born out of the Empire Builders Mastermind, which is fun and fantastic. So thank you for talking about it, because there are a couple of spots left for next year. It's either the full class has been assembled, or there are a couple of spots available for the right folks who are ready, willing, and able to join.
Excellent.
So always open to having conversations about all the things.
Yeah.
Well,
we can wrap up, because we got to give people their time back, and you've got some obligations to run off to, ma'am.
I might have one or two things on my calendar.
Just a few things. But guys, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to Honoree. HonoreeQuarter.com is her website. What's that?
I'm putting it in the chat. /Empire. So if you want to know more about Empire Builders, you can go to HonoreeQuarter.com/Empire. You can see everything, including what the agreement looks like. So what the investment is, what's expected in terms of your time, your commitment, in terms of your time and your treasures and your talents. There is a newsletter that I send almost the first of every month. I don't do one in August because I'm on vacation. So the next one will go out in September, where I talk about who's in the group and what they have accomplished since the last newsletter went out. So this will be a 2-monther. This will be a 2-month review. And you can also find a link to schedule some time on my calendar if that is of interest to you. I do expect that the class will be closed in not too terribly long from now. And then we'll just roll into what's happening in 2025. And I can't even believe I'm saying that year out loud.
You beat me to it. I haven't said that yet.
2025. Yeah, but I'm looking at it's something you can't see, which is what I send to people who join the mastermind. So I'm ready to send out the welcome.
I can't wait.
The welcome gift that I send to people who join. Once I get their application,
Yeah, I was going to say, I owe you an application for this year, so I can't get too excited about my.
It's a formality. I think it's a formality.
Well, you could always kick me out. That's. I
could.
I look at this as being like
a list of my top 10 most stupid things that I could do.
No, that's like maybe top 20. Maybe top 20. I don't know about top 10.
Top 5. I think it's a top 5.
I could give you a list of 10 things that are far worse for you than that. Like number 1.
Byron, it's like the thing that I put in the funny snarky things I put in my book manuscript for only Karen to read, the things that only she sees.
Exactly.
And then when I told one to Byron, he was like, that's in the book. And I was like, no, that was just for Karen. He was like, oh, good. Like, no. If I said, you know what, I think Lucas is dead to me, no more Lucas. He would be like, what? I'm waiting. He's going to text me any second and be like, don't do that. That's stupid.
I'd get a text message from him saying, hey, man, I don't know what's going on, but what's going on?
What's going on?
Talk to me, dude.
Come over. You better come over. Yeah.
Talk to me. Yeah, for those that don't know, Byron's Honoree's husband, and he feeds me, is basically what Byron does.
That's right. That's right.
So,
you're not going to give up the brisket. So I know I'm safe just on the food alone.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm convinced I eat my weight in fees just in brisket.
Yes.
Alone.
But brisket and crawfish.
Now I came to the crawfish boil, but I didn't eat any crawfish.
What did you eat?
I ate brisket.
Oh, yeah. Well,
but I waited till the end.
Brisket for the crawfish boil because it's a lot of work.
I will.
You will boycott. You'll like stand outside with you'll pick it.
I was getting ready to protest, but then I had to choose my words wisely because he's a pretty big guy. So.
And we're gonna have a turret, so he'll just shoot you from the turret.
I'll just be like, Byron, please. Like, I don't know, like, is begging. I'm not beyond begging.
I think if you promise to come early and help, there might be a little like
that's
pit crew brisket situation.
We could do that, especially Caleb's already like planning. Like he told me.
Is?
Oh my gosh, my son went out last year, guys. For anyone that doesn't.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, well, when we go to Nashville next year, I want this and that in my room, and I'm like, whoa, dude.
Whoa.
What are we talking about?
That's hilarious.
I think that was like his favorite thing the year.
Aww.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna say we need to bring the rest of the family has to come.
Oh. I don't know if you can handle having Madeline there.
Yes.
She is all girl.
Well, so am I. Okay.
With her little hair and her.
I do a hair flip on occasion, as you know.
Honestly, I'm nervous that if you guys meet the rest of them, you're just gonna be like, get out of here, dude. Go sit in the corner.
Well, you and Byron, Byron steals my friend, so it's only fair that I steal your family.
There you go.
Yeah. Because I've met Tammy, so I already know. Yeah. It's only the other two. And then you got to bring Dad. Where is he today, by the way? He's usually here.
He's teaching.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he's making cash money.
He's in Baltimore doing the thing, helping the Coast Guard
Charlie today.
That's what he is. Yeah. He's holding up the fort. If you asked him, he'd be like, I'm the one working today. He'd start ripping on me.
Right. Because we're just, you know what? He's not wrong. Charlie, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Bring it. We can take it. We deserve it.
I'm not even kidding. Like I was joking about the family thing earlier, but if I bring my dad out, I'm just warning you right now. Byron is gonna you guys are gonna be figuring out how to move here. Like it's gonna be a thing.
Move there?
Yeah. Those two are gonna be best friends.
I know, but you are gonna have to move everybody here. We've designed our house plans twice. I'm just saying.
That is true.
We just finished the plans for the second time, and so I'm pretty sure we're going to stay here.
You're staying right there.
Yes. But if you have a guest room that has a king-size bed in it, which is mandatory, and we can bring our dog, then all bets are off. All right. Okay.
We've got 2 rooms. You don't even have to sleep in the same room if you don't want to.
Aw, that would be so
Not in my house, in my parents' house. I'm offering their house up without him here to.
Oh, I see. I thought we were coming to your house. I guess we're going to your dad's house. Okay, fair enough. Okay.
And Rogue can come stay with us.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, she would like it. She and Ella would be like buddies.
Yep, two little buddies. So.
All right, I got a board meeting.
Yep, go to your board meeting, guys. Thank you so much for being here with us, Honoree. Thank you for sharing EBM with us today.
Yes, thank you for letting me talk about it with the world.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things of all time. So it's a bit of a thing to. I feel guilty, not like we get to talk about all the fun stuff. So
yeah,
so many people out there not doing it.
We're working.
That's it.
Have a great week, everybody. We'll be back next week, and we'll talk about something completely different. What would you like us to talk about? Put it in the chat. Like it, love it, share it, ring the bell, all the things. Thank you for coming. Thank you to Renee, Renee, I get to see you soon.
Renee. Elizabeth.
See me, and I think it's book launch weekend. I think I get to have a book launch party
Oh.
while Renee is in Nashville. I'm very excited about that. Elizabeth, the first one here. Tony. Wayne, safe travels wherever you are. We'll see you hopefully next week. Charlie, we missed you. We'll see you. We'll see everybody next week. And Jen, we missed Jen. I know what Jen's teaching. Yeah.
Yep, she's teaching.
All right. Have a great week, everybody.
Take it easy, guys.